What's up, guys? It's Judah and Jesse. We're here coming at you, not live, but I wish it was live. But we are in the third week of our series called Deep, and so I just want you guys to tune it.
Wait, you said week 3.
Yeah.
What month is it?
November.
It's November?
Yeah, November 4th, right?
You know what that means?
It's Christmas!
Jingle bell,
Hello there. We are at the Lithopolis campus interviewing some of the staff here about a time that they have served someone else, and it's either blessed them or blessed someone else. So let's go check it out. In here we have Morgan. She's not on staff, but she helps us out like she is. So Morgan, can you give me a time of when you served someone, big or small? It could be your husband, it could be your kids, it could be at church, where you could see the blessing, you could see it benefiting that person, it really meant a lot to them, or it kind of opened something up in you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Please speak into the mic.
I'm sorry, yes. I would have to say I like to cook, so I've brought in meals to people a couple times, and just the relief on their face of like, oh, I don't have to make dinner. Mm-hmm. You know, this looks really good. At least they tell me it looks really good. I don't know if they really think it's good.
Yeah.
But and that's totally blessed me, and I love to be able to bless people like that. So it's...
That's awesome. You want to bless me?
Sure.
Awesome. All right. I know what I'm eating tonight. Okay. What's up? Okay, so we have our next interview person. What is it called? I don't know. But we're going to interview someone else. We have the campus pastor for Lithopolis campus. Yes, the Zachary Brown, Pastor Zach Brown. And we have him right here. Say hello to the people, Zachary Brown. Pastor Zach Brown, say hi to the peeps.
Hello, everyone. How are you?
Great guy. The redded beard wonder. The walking building, just the great guy. So what is, I'm just messing, man. What is one example in your life that you blessed someone and you saw it like, really it meant a lot to them, or it helped deepen your faith?
There was this guy.
Please speak into the mic.
There was this guy named Judah Stadler who was he was really going through a rough time in his life. And he really, no, I'm just kidding. I love you, man.
Oh my gosh, I was getting sweaty.
No, so what's really cool, our church does this thing every year. It's called Impact Week. And it's where we kind of come together as a church and we really focus on getting outside of our walls and serving people who are outside of our walls. So this past year, we had the opportunity to go to an apartment complex called George's Creek. And we were there every single day serving the community. This is a community that doesn't have maybe as much as what we're used to or what we have. Mm-hmm. And just having the chance, Judah, to go there, serve the community, but even more than that, just what it does for me and what it did for me and what it does for someone who participates in that, it really just gives you just a sense of, one, thankfulness, just knowing what God has blessed you with and what God has done for me. It just kind of really puts it in perspective, the things that I have. And then two, it really kind of puts in perspective like, hey, there's people out there who need our help, who need assistance. And when we take the time to kind of pause our lives and look at the people around us, I think we begin to see how much need there is.
Mm-hmm. What is your favorite color?
Purple. I mean, without a doubt, purple.
Purple?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Zachary Brown, Pastor Zach Brown. Let's give it up for him. Okay, let's go. Hello. So we have yet another person to interview about serving. We will be interviewing Janice Torado. If you don't know who Janice Torado is, she is our group's director in Lithopolis. So let's just say hi to her. Hello, Janice. How's your day going?
Hey, it's going really good.
Please speak into the brush.
That brush is disgusting, Judah. But I'll speak into it because you asked me to.
Thank you.
All right. I'm doing really great. It's been a good day.
That's good. That's fantastic. Okay, so I have one question for you. Can you give me one example in your life of you serving someone else, how it blessed them, but it might have also blessed you?
Okay. This past summer, I went on a mission trip to Puerto Rico. And the first day that we were there, we went to a church that we were going to be serving and helping fix up. And that Sunday morning, the pastor stood up and came over and talked to us. And he told us that we were an answer to their prayer. And I never looked at it that way. In my mind, I was going to go there to serve them and to help fix things, to, bring some joy, to bring the love of Jesus, to help in any way I could.
Yeah.
And instead to be told that I was the answer to someone's prayer, that was an amazing blessing, because you just don't think of yourself ever being the answer to someone's prayer.
Yeah.
So that was probably one of the best things that happened on that trip.
Wow. Thanks for sharing that. Well, that's an awesome story, guys. Let's just continue in this video. Thank you, Janice, for sharing that story. She is such a blessing. All right. All right, those are some pretty good interviews.
That was a good interview session we had. You're pretty good at that.
Thanks. I practice in the mirror.
Do you? At home?
Yeah.
But no, those interviews reminded me of a story in the Bible from Matthew. And you might be familiar with it. It's when Jesus fed the 5,000. So basically, set the scene. Jesus is out teaching, and the disciples are there, and 5,000 people show up to listen to Jesus talk.
Yeah.
And they've been there a long time, and the crowd is obviously, they're starting to get hungry. And they're out in the middle of nowhere. It's not like they're in the city where they can just go grab like Chick-fil-A real fast.
Yeah. I get hungry after church, so I understand.
Dude, I get the grumpies after church sometimes when I'm hungry. Hangry. That's a thing.
Yeah.
But no, so they're getting hangry. This crowd's getting hangry. And so the disciples tell Jesus, like, hey, Jesus, you got to stop teaching for a minute. Let the crowd go. Let them, fend for themselves, eat on their own, and then, we can resume this later.
Yeah.
Jesus is like, no, you feed them. We're going to take care of them. And the disciples are like, excuse me, Jesus, there's 5,000 people and we don't have anything. So they start searching through the crowd to find like where they could get some food from.
Yeah.
And so there's this little boy, has 5 loaves of bread, 2 fish, and they're like, Jesus, this is all we got. This is going to feed maybe one little boy, but definitely not 5,000 people. So Jesus blesses it, breaks it, and they feed the entire freaking crowd.
With 5 loaves and 2 fish.
5 loaves, 2 fish. They feed the entire crowd, and they have buckets of food left over afterwards.
Now, I'm no mathematician, but that math doesn't add up. It doesn't add up because you didn't have barrels in the beginning.
Right.
But you ended up with everyone being full and leftovers afterwards.
Right.
How does that work?
That's called Jesus, my friend.
I wonder if Jesus wants us to be like that little boy. Like,
what do you mean?
Like, so he only had like 5 loaves and 2 fish.
Which is not a lot.
There's probably people out in there who already packed lunches, and they probably had more, but they didn't want to like share or anything. They probably had more to offer. But that boy came up and wanted to offer his 5 loaves and 2 fish.
Right.
I almost feel like that kind of relates to our lives. Like God gives us talents and skills. If we offer like, hey, God, use this, then I feel like something cool is going to happen. You'll have leftover fish and bread.
Right. Yeah, it's like when we bring the little that we have and put it in Jesus' hands, he will multiply that to be much more of a blessing than we could ever make it.
Yeah.
So what do you think, when we put the little that we have into God's hands, and then we watch him multiply that to make this big, huge impact in our lives and other people's lives, how do you think that deepens our faith? Because, we're in the series called Deep right now.
Yeah.
So how does that pertain to this conversation?
I think it pertains because I think it's cool how if we do what God asks us to do, when we give him our little and he blesses us for doing that, and it helps so many other people, I think he is just such a good God to where that blesses other people, but it also blesses us, and it deepens our faith in God. So, like, I don't know about you guys, and I don't know about you, Jesse, but I feel closer to God when I help people. I feel closer to God when I respect my parents. I feel closer to God when I help a friend out or whatever. When I just love other people, I feel closer to God.
And it's almost like our faith is deepened just by simply taking the attention off of us and putting it on to other people.
Yeah. All right, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for being just so good and just paying attention to this video. Me and Jesse just love you guys. We want to leave you with a challenge. We all have someone in our lives that we can serve.
So what would it look like for every single one of us to take this week and intentionally
Yeah.
serve someone else?
Yeah. See you next week. Love you guys.